What up, guys? The Bench Buddies are back with my MLB Week 9 power rankings. You can see they're on the bottom. Biggest movers this week. Rays, after a great week, move up 6 spots. Rangers stumble 5 spots down. But let's get into it here. And the stories of the week. Biggest story with Red Sox third baseman Alex Bregman. Serious hamstring injury. Who knows how long he's going to be out for. In the meantime, they do bring up their top prospect, Marcelo Mayer. A lot of Red Sox fans and MLB fans as well have been looking for his debut. Now we get to see that with the injury to Bregman, but hopefully it'll be a speedy recovery and we can see these two on the field together. Another IL stint and just the Rangers shaking things up a little bit after, just some shaky starts to the year. Put Jock Peterson on the IL, DFA Kevin Pillar, and then they promote prospect Alejandro Ozuna to maybe provide a spark for this Rangers team in the time being. Acuna, back from the IL, hits a home run on the first pitch he sees and hits another one on Saturday. So he's got 2 home runs in 2 days. And then my guy, Tarek Skubal, 13 strikeouts, 2 hits, complete game shutout against the Guardians in a game they desperately needed to win because Tigers lost 3 in a row to the Guardians at home. Skubal comes out and just dominates and lets them know that you can't beat Skubal this year. And then Aaron Judge doing Aaron Judge things, of course, this year. 30 through 26 stay the same. All okay weeks except the Rockies. They're just poverty. Orioles, White Sox, Pirates, Marlins all got or more wins last week, which is a good stepping stone, I guess, week for them moving forward. But who knows how it's going to go this week? Someone's got to win that White Sox Orioles series. So at least that's a positive for one of those teams. 21 through 25, Angels and Athletics swap spots here. Athletics 1-6 last week. I thought this team maybe can contend, but here we are. I get they played Philly at home. They took one, but you got to at least split with the Angels there. And the Angels obviously move up because of it, going on the road, sweeping a division an opponent. Huge. Maybe they were going to bring that momentum back home against the Marlins, maybe get a series win there, but they didn't do that to possibly get to 500. And this week it's going to be a lot tougher for them to get to 500 than it was last week. 16 through 20. And these teams, I think you can make a case could be anywhere. I think the Giants could be a little higher just based off of record if that's what you're looking at. But here we are. Rangers fall 5 after getting swept on the road against the Yankees, losing a series against the White Sox. Like I said, they made some shakeups. Maybe this week it'll be a little better returning home. Blue Jays, maybe this team can turn it around, but they're just so inconsistent as you can see it last week. Sweep Padres at home, go on the road, get swept to Tampa. Now they're in Texas, and who knows how that series is going to go. Same with the Athletic series. If the Blue Jays can take a game from Texas and win the series against the A's, this Blue Jays team is going to be sitting right around 500 next week, along with the Braves. I think they're in the same boat here. A series win against both these teams would be awesome for them. And if they can scrap one series, lose the other one, I think that's a win-win for them as well. But the most doable is the Red Sox series, obviously, because Bregman going down, the team's kind of just in that big question of kind of what they're going to be this year. Obviously, Devers is mashing, but after that and Crochet, the Red Sox, I think, still are trying to figure some things out, more like a lot of these teams here in this range. And the Giants, they're playing some good baseball. Obviously, started out hot, kind of just playing 500 ball since then. They go on to the road to Detroit and Miami, and probably 500 week, if we're going to be honest. 11 through 15 could throw the Giants up here, but I just think that some teams are playing a little better than the Giants are right now, where the Giants are kind of coasting. The Royals, especially they're that team in the Diamondbacks, I think you could compare. But the Diamondbacks had a rough week last week, so I'm only dropping them one. You face the hottest team in baseball in the Cardinals on the road. You get swept, kind of expect that one. Then you go face a division opponent who you just can't beat. And they're also the Dodgers, one of the best teams in baseball. So, this team last week, coming into last week, they were 25 and 22, bad week, 26 to 27. So I'm not overreacting there. But Astros, Mariners, obviously the Astros have the edge there. They stay at 14, jumping the Mariners, or I guess ahead of the Mariners here because they beat them in the series. And then Rays, like I mentioned earlier, beat Houston in the series at home, beat Toronto and swept them. Now they get Minnesota at home, who's been hot recently, so that could be a good early week series. Then they return to Houston, and I'm sure Houston's looking to get revenge there as they play a 4 game set, not a three. 6 through 10, not much shaken up here as the Guardians jump into the top 10 with their series victory over the Tigers. What do they get rewarded with? The Dodgers early in the week. Then they get the Angels as well to finish the week. So both LA teams coming in. I think they're going to be happy if they can go 3-3 or better this week. Padres, they're kind of floating around mediocrity, if you ask me. Like you go on the road and get swept to Toronto, but then you can go to Atlanta and beat them in a series. Now they return home and look at their schedule. They should win 5 of those 6 games if you're just going off of record and on paper. And that's kind of what they need right now to push them into that next category of being an elite contender. Same with the Cardinals. They're very good baseball team this year so far, which I don't think anybody saw coming. Uh, if they can go on the road, win both those series, let's say they 2-1 in both those series, they're 34 and 25. I don't think anyone saw them being 5 games above 500, but let alone nine. I think it's all possible with how good this team has been this year. Twins, same with them. Obviously, their huge winning streak got them to where they are now. Now they're kind of falling back, but still playing some really good teams, obviously, in the division. Now they go on the road here, and I think that's going to be a true test for them this week. Now that the win streak's over, they played some tough teams at home. Now we're going to see what this Twins team is really made of this week. Cubs just keep on winning. It's not pretty, but a series win is a series win on the road, and they return home to face Colorado and Cincinnati just to grow that NL Central lead. More than likely, they'll go 2-1 or better in each of those series. I expect them to go another 4-2, get to 36 and 23, and just keep growing the NL Central lead. Now, 1 through 5, I think you can put any of these teams anywhere just based off of personal preference. My Tigers, they have to fall out of the top spot. You can't lose 3 in a row to a division rival at home who you lost to in the playoffs last year. But like I said, Skubal on Sunday dominated to really kind of give them that jolt back to life heading into this week. And they need it because the Giants are a good team coming into town. And then they face the Royals on the road in a huge divisional matchup. They have the Dodgers and Mets at 4-5. Obviously, the Mets have to be in front of the Dodgers after recency. Beating them at home in prime time every game, it shows. And I think that matters this early in the season. Even though, both of them lost the series this week, they same record and everything. Head-to-head matchups do matter. Now, the Mets, look at their schedule this week. Cake. If they don't go 5-1 or better, I'd be very surprised. Dodgers, however, if they go 3-3, I think that's a great, great week for them. Yankees, Phillies round out 1-2. Phillies jump the Yankees for the top spot. I mean, going to Colorado, getting a sweep, obviously, it's kind of expected at this point, but it's 4 wins, and then going on the road to face the Athletics as well, win that series as well. So 6 wins last week, more than deserving wins them this number one spot. And obviously, they have the best record in baseball at this point. I'm recording this on Tuesday, but this is based off of Sunday's results, so nothing including Monday or Tuesday. And Atlanta, Milwaukee at home. I think the Phillies got to grow that division lead. It's going to be tough this week with the Mets, like I said, having an easy schedule. They could lose the division, even if they only lose 2 games, which is pretty crazy. But don't count them out yet. I think this NL East is going to be just a wild, wild ride till the end of the year. And I think the Braves, could give it a ride for their money here, especially if they can take a series here from the Phillies on the road. But the teams I haven't talked about yet is the Yankees. And the Yankees, quietly behind Aaron Judge, aren't getting as much recognition as I think they deserve. They're a very good baseball team this year. The pitching coming into the year, obviously with Garrett Cole's injury, no one really knew what we were going to expect, but here they are playing some really good baseball, getting innings out of their starters. And the bullpen's been great. Even with Devin Williams being shaky, he started to figure it out now. And that's great. And it's exactly what Yankees fans want to see. And they go to Los Angeles for a week trip, get the Angels and then the Dodgers. Primetime matchup this weekend. I think if you're the Yankees, you got to win this series to really show that, last year, you're still thinking about last year, the World Series. Really go in there. If you can get that series win, kind of get over that hump and maybe that give you that confidence here for a few extra weeks as we get into June. That's going to be it for my power rankings this week. Check back next week to see where your favorite team ranks. But until the next time, the Bench Buddies are out.